Landgren, Too Many Zoos, Marcus Wyatt's 17-piece ZAR Orchestra, Shane Cooper's Mabuta, Ladysmith Black Mambazo, Mafikizolo, the 2019 Standard Bank Young Artist for Jazz, Mandla Mlangeni, are just some of the jazz greats that will headline the 32nd edition of the celebrated Standard Bank Jazz Festival in Makhanda. Organizers say music lovers, both young and old, can also expect a compelling sonic journey through the decades of South Africa's jazz history, reaching back to the late 80s and traveling through to the present day. And to tell us more, we're joined by trumpet player and composer Marcus Wyatt. Marcus, a very good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Spiva.
Speak to us about the 32nd edition of the famed Standard Bank Jazz Festival, and with you on the lineup, what can you look forward to?
Well, it seems like a great lineup this year, quite a varied lineup. It's 32 years, eh?
Yeah, it's been that long.
It has been a long time. I think I've been actually going since around 94, so I'm almost up to 32 years. But yeah, what makes this festival super special as well is the whole youth jazz aspect of it. Kids from around the country, around 300 kids, converge on Makhanda, and they are able to get lessons and workshops from a lot of the musicians in South Africa and also all the international visiting musicians. Yeah. So there's a really great energy in the place to start with, because of all these students who are really keen to learn the jazz music idiom, and then combine that with all of these artists that are coming in from overseas and from around South Africa. It's really a great festival to be at.
Sure. And at some point you were called up to the South African National Defence Forces Naval Band for national service, and this is where you developed, I presume, the way you developed your love for jazz music. I mean, now you're one of South Africa's greatest trumpeters and well-loved trumpeters. So what does being involved in this part of festival do to you as a musician generally?
Look, obviously it's always good to have a platform to put your music out, and for me this year what is special is the ZAR Jazz Orchestra, the big band. We've recorded another album, so we'll be releasing an album in Grahamstown at the concert, which is really great. Yeah, it's good to be involved in festivals of this nature. I mean, this is probably one of the oldest jazz festivals in South Africa, and every year you're meeting musicians from around the world, making new contacts, you know, just establishing good connections in order to spread the music and to get out there. Yeah.
I mean, the ZAR Orchestra, I mean, there's absolutely no prizes for guessing what an amazing and incredible band they are. I mean, for starters, they won the Best Jazz Album at the Summers in 2016, and they'll also be part of it. Take us through that.
Well, it's a big band, so it's literally what it says. There's 17 people, 18 people involved. So it's always quite a tricky thing to logistically run a band of that size. Right. So, you know, but that's why it's great to be able to have these kind of platforms, these festivals, and this festival in particular, because there are musicians, like I said, coming from around South Africa and from overseas, and you actually get a chance to put some of those musicians into the band, which is what I'm doing this year, which is really cool because it gives you a chance to work with people you wouldn't previously work with. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. There's also another project which you didn't mention called Bomb Shelter Beast, which is another project we run up here in Joburg, and that's a 12-piece band.
Okay.
And that's also going to be at the festival, and that's really cool. We're really excited about that.
You'll also be bringing the big band sound, isn't it?
Yeah. Less of a traditional big band sound. Okay. More of a crazy, you know, potpourri of all sorts of styles of music. We've got Pule there rapping in all 11 languages. It's just, yeah, it's a crazy band. Yeah,
amazing, man. Now, Marcus, take us through the process of putting this orchestra together. What is that one thing that you were looking for when you put it together?
We're talking about the ZAR Jazz Orchestra. Look, obviously, I've been in the business for a while, so when it comes to selecting musicians to play a certain kind of music, you already have an idea in your head about who the musicians are that speak to you and would allow your music to breathe and to grow. So that's really, for me, the entire process is just selecting, and most of them happen to be friends, so it's really cool. You get to work with your friends. Yeah. Okay.
Now, for those who've never been to this festival and who want to go there for the first time, just describe the jazz scene for us at the stage.
In Makhanda.
In Makhanda.
Well, it's because it's a small town. If you've not been to that festival before, it's really exciting because you can basically reach everything on foot. Whether it be theatre, music, dance, food. It's really exciting because everyone moves around in these pockets to various shows, and the jazz festival itself obviously is at one venue, so you don't need to move around. Okay. There's always a real buzz there, especially when the kids are still around who are doing the jazz course. They're always sitting in the front of the audiences screaming, and so yeah, there's a great energy around. It's a good way to keep warm. There's a good bar right outside the venue, and everyone kind of congregates and meets and discusses the music.
Okay. And how do we get a taste of your product or your offering?
Well, look, ZAR Jazz Orchestra, the first album we recorded a few years ago is online. It can be downloaded on Bandcamp and various other platforms. Okay. Otherwise, YouTube and all the usual channels that you can go out and find, because obviously a big band is not something you see every week.
Yeah.
Right. The economics of it are tricky. So to be able to pay a whole bunch of people,
I know,
not always so easy. So I guess you just have to watch out for my social media platforms, and I usually announce where we're going to be performing.
All right, Marcus, all the best, man. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. Well, trumpet player and composer Marcus Wyatt speaking to us about the 32nd edition of the celebrated Standard Bank Jazz Festival as part of this year's National Arts Festival, taking place between the 27th of June to the 7th of July this year. All right, let's take a short break now. We'll have your sports news in just a moment.